when you're walking out with a duffel bag that's 40 pounds or 50 pounds in cash, right? Like, it's actually heavy to carry. Yeah. I remember getting ready for these videos and I'm like, every time I let my car. Oh my God.
Hey everyone, Mike Rosehart here, talking to you guys today about the concept that dawned on me the other day in a comment. I was chatting with someone on Facebook and they said something like, well, what if you lost everything tomorrow? You wouldn't be able to replicate your success. And I thought about that and I thought, well, that'd be a great video idea. What if I was broke tomorrow? What if I lost everything? What if the video that I did with Graham, Stephan, and me, Kevin, was real? If I actually lost all of my money and it was stolen, and I started back to ground one, zero. I lost everything. What would I do? Like, oh no, I lost everything. No, you know what? The greatest loss that I could ever have, I think, would not be the loss of all my net worth and all my properties and all my assets, everything gone. All of my money being gone is actually less painful than losing this, losing what's up here, losing the connections that I have in the market to the people that I know. The value of my network and the value of what I know up here, my knowledge and my wisdom and experience, if I lost this up here, I'd be at way more of a disadvantage than if I lost all of my money. But for those guys who don't have anything, you don't have any wealth, you say, okay, Mike, that's easy for you to say, you know, you've done this before. Yes, that's the key piece, is that I have the experience and the wisdom, but I can impart that wisdom on you guys. I can share with you a lot of what I know through mentorship, through these videos, you know, with my audience, and you can take that knowledge and apply it in your own situation. So let's do this. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna actually pretend that I'm broke. So tomorrow I wake up and it's all gone. You know, the last 9 years of my life, working like to the bone every single day, 16 hours a day, all of it's gone. You know, what would happen? I would just start again. I would rise from the ashes. I've always thought, like, no matter what happens, every time I take a risky investment in a property or in a project, I say to myself, the worst case scenario is I can just start again. And I like to take comfort in that. So let's map that out. What would actually happen if I had to start again? And you know, I think through it and I think, okay, so I'm at zero net worth, I have nothing. The first thing I would do is go out and find a deal. I'd go lock up a real estate deal. I'd still be looking at properties. I'd still be doing exactly what I'm doing now. And I'd just connect an investor to a property. I would be the mediator between those, and I would get a percentage of the deal. I'd say, look, I'm gonna manage the deal, do all the renovations, everything. I'll put it all together, but you provide the capital. Because let's be honest, capital isn't that valuable. I used to think when I started out that it was all about the capital. Oh, I don't have the capital, so I can't do that project. Oh, I don't have the money to do this. And that's what everyone's excuse is, oh, I don't have the money. And most of that is because they're not spending less and they're not trying to earn more and they're not really maximizing returns. So people are inefficient, so that's why they don't have savings, but that's another video. Well, like, I will still, you know, you guys know that if I start with zero tomorrow, I'd be saving 85% of every single dollar I earned because I'm just so frugal that if I make $100,000, 85,000 goes to my net worth. If I make $500,000, 400,000 of it goes to my net worth. So you build a lot of wealth if your savings rate is really, really high. So I could replenish all of my net worth in about 5 years. Probably with my expertise, I could probably do it in 3 years. Everything, I go zero to a millionaire in 3 years. Anyone can do it, I think, in about 5 years. So back to mapping this out, I'm buying properties and I connect investors, right? Because we talk about, in one of my live streams you guys remember from last week, we talked about money, people, deal. And that's the three components to, basically, that's the three components of real estate. If you control 2 of the 3, you've mastered it. And so because I know that, I would just dominate 2 of those 3 aspects. So if I had no money tomorrow, I would dominate the people aspects, right? The property management, the management of the sub-trades, all of that expertise, right? The knowledge to get the deals done, right? That's all of that from A to Z. That's the people side of it. That's 1/3 of the value brought to the table. So if I brought that to the table, and then I went and found a deal, I go find a property that's worth 200 that I can go get for about 150. As soon as I have that deal locked up on a contract that no one else can get, I've got it locked up, I have value. So I just brought a 50,000, if its market value, you know, after a 5,000 reno is 250, let's say, right? There's 95,000 in spread. I just brought $95,000 in value to the table. So all I have to do is just get a few meetings with a few investors, put it out there, right? And people I know in my network could tell people that they know in their network, someone has money. People think that, money's hard to come by. I've actually found out that a lot of people actually, the average Vancouver resident has a net worth of $1 million. The average Toronto resident has a net worth of like 975,000 or something like that last I checked, and that's 2016 data. So people are actually on average very, very wealthy. There's a ton of stealth wealth, a ton of wealth in general out there not being employed effectively. There's a lot of people who have stuck in mutual funds, paying tons of fees and it's not really growing very well, stuck in savings accounts and bonds, treasury bills, just doing nothing, right? And so if you can tap into a little bit of that money, right? You can put deals together and make money for everyone, and you can have some for yourself. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? I'm bringing a deal with someone. It's got, $50,000 below market value or $80,000 below market value. I just brought $80,000 to the table. Oh, hey, I'm gonna take care of the renovation. I'm gonna take care of managing everything. You don't have to do a thing. The guy with money, he's 1/3 of the deal. And by the way, guy with money often can get financing too. So he's got income, he can qualify for a mortgage. So even at 1% on title, maybe he can't. Maybe he's got money, but he can't get a mortgage. I got another friend, he's got a great job, 100 grand a year, whatever, he's a great job, and he has no money, no capital. I give him 5% of the deal. He signs his name, 5% on title. His income goes into the qualifying for the mortgage. Boom. We just got a guy, gave him 5% of the deal. He got us a mortgage at 2.9% because he's got a great income. The other bank's willing to take that risk based on income, right? So I just put that together, found someone with capital, give them 40% of the deal, or even 50% of the deal if you want. If it's your first deal, maybe you got to give 50%. That's a lot. Money isn't worth as much as people think it is. As long as you can get the investor, like if I can go to the investor and say, hey, I can double your down payment in a year or two, we're buying this property below market value on day one, you just doubled your down payment. If they're putting 20% down, right, on a $200,000 house, that's 40 grand. If it's 50 below market, they've already made their money back right from day one, plus cash flow. And if you can do those illustrations, which I can, and show them, based on experience, this is what we can do, this is market value, here are the numbers, we're getting $1,000 a month in cash flow. I just put a deal together. Now I have, say, what did I say, 5% for the mortgage to get a guy on title, another, say, 50% to the guy who brought the money to the table. I just took 45% of the profit from this deal every single month. Let's say an average deal for me here in my area, I make about $1,000 a month cash flow. So I got $450 a month cash flow from this property, plus we'll either sell or refinance down the road and we'll pull out the down payment. My investor will get paid back, and guarantee you when I write him a check for his down payment back, and he has no money in this property, and he's still getting his check for $500 a month every single month, he's gonna want to invest again. He's gonna want another one. He's gonna call me and say, hey, I want another one, and my friend Joe, and my friend Barb, and my friend Fred, they all want some too. They would love to get a piece of this. By the way, Fred can get a mortgage. He has a great job in Toronto. He'll take care of it. Okay, well sure, I got another great deal. So I go find another good deal. Okay, 50 grand in value. I take that deal to Fred now. I say, Fred, I can't give you as good of a deal as I gave to Bob. But hey, here's what I can give you. I show them what they can get. I'll give you 40% of the deal, let's say. They get $400 a month on their down payment every single month. You show them the numbers. You say that your return on your investment is X, right? Maybe I guarantee their money against as a first mortgage. So their principal is guaranteed. If there's any downside, I make nothing. So obviously I gotta find good deals and I gotta do a good job managing, because one of the worst things about one of the greatest risk factors in real estate investing people talk about, I'll do another video on this later, but about the greatest risks, bad management, right? Bad basically management of renovations, bad management of tenants, and just buying bad deals. Those are the 3 bad things. And most real estate agents don't help you with any of those 3 things. So you can take a great property and it can become a real crapper if you don't have good management. So the people side of things is really, really important. So if you are a master of people and deal, the money will come. It's worth about 1/3 of the value. As long as you're giving investors a good return, they don't mind giving you some of the profit. If I make $100,000 on a deal and a guy put up $50,000 for his down payment, I give him his whole $50,000 back, and here's $20,000 on top of that, and here's $500 a month forever on the property. He doesn't care if I take 40 or 50,000 of that, right? So we made 100, I gave him 70, let's say, I take 30 of it for myself. He doesn't mind. He's happy. In fact, he's begging me. Now I just had him a check for 70,000, all his money back plus some. He's begging me to buy another one. In 8 months, we just doubled his money, and he's got cash flow, and we still own the property. He's got cash flow coming in, right? Because we refinanced that money out. So that's an example of what I would do. if I was broke tomorrow, guys, I would just put deals together. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can find a way to put money, people, and deal together, if you're just starting out, you're just getting invested in real estate now, you gotta master the people side of things. You've gotta learn how to do that. And how do you do that? Mentorship. Find someone, follow them around, work for free until you can learn. But once you've learned that, it's more like the knowledge I have up in here right now is more valuable than the money I have in my net worth, in my bank accounts, in the value of my properties. And you're saying, Mike, that's crazy. Like, you're a millionaire. You know, surely your brain isn't worth that much. Yes, knowledge is wealth. Your network is your net worth. And so very, very important to make sure you build those connections, put those roots down, and that's really more valuable than actually having wealth. And so I could lose it all tomorrow and do it again because I had that expertise and that knowledge. And that's something that's so, so important, guys. I just want to share that with you, that even if I lost everything tomorrow, this is what I would do to get the deals together. I would use real estate because real estate's a great way to do that. Maybe I would go get a job too. If I was really wanting to do this aggressively, I'd go get a job too. I'd go back to my old employer. I'd say, hey, you know, I crawl back. I'll take my job back as a manager or whatever. Maybe they'll put me as a senior on the project. I have to work my way back up to manager, whatever, worst case. But I got like a $50,000, $60,000 salary coming in again, right? Like the old days. And I go get mortgages again. Take that salary to the bank. After 6 months, the bank's going to start giving me mortgages again. Boom, I buy 5, 6, 7 properties. You buy the first one, right, with savings. So I can save a down payment for a house. At my day job, I used to be able to save a down payment at 80% savings rate because I'm super frugal. I house hack. Of course, you guys know I house hack. My living expenses are near none. I rent out my tiny house. I have another apartment in my basement, covers the mortgage, covers the utilities. I live for zero. So my living costs are down because I got the duplex situation. But let's say I lost everything, right? And I even lost my house. They came, they dragged my furniture out. I would go rent a place. I just found a place I was looking to rent for $1,800 a month for a 5-bed, 4-bath house here in London, Ontario. Makes no sense. It's a $600,000 house. I don't know why they're renting for $1,950 a month, but they're gonna. Let's say they do that, because it's actually true right now in this market. I would go rent hack. Forget house hacking. I'd rent hack until I can house hack, and I'd get that house. I'd grab the, you know, I need first and last. So maybe I could go to a job. I got to save up first and last month's rent to rent a place, or I'll go borrow it from someone, right? Maybe someone with my connections, maybe I can borrow a last month's rent, $1,950, because I'm broke, right? Remember, I lost everything. Then I'll go rent a place, and then I would rent out the lower basement of this property I'm thinking about. I'd rent out the basement, sublet it. I'd bring a roommate in and charge them $800 a month for the lower unit, and then I would charge them another. I'd get another roommate for the other unit, and I would take the other 3 bedrooms for my family, and we would have 2 of the rooms rented out, and I would be covering all of the rent costs. So I'd be living for zero again by rent hacking. Rent a 5-bedroom house, rent a couple rooms out. No problem, right? Living cost is zero. Now I'm working, I'm saving a down payment in 6, 8 months. I do a BRRRR strategy. I buy the property, as I always do. I renovate it, then I refinance all my capital out. I unlock all that equity to buy the second one. Right? I still got the first one, then I buy the second one. Check out my video, guys. In the link, I'll show you guys about the snowball strategy, how anyone can buy 10 properties in 3 years, starting with zero net worth. That's exactly what I would do. I would do it again, and I would do it better than I did the first time. So there you guys go. I gotta be quick on this video because we are losing daylight. We're trying to film outside. It's kind of a cool thing. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next video. As always, spend less, earn more, and maximize your returns to unlock a wealthier you. You will become wealthier if you spend less, earn more, and maximize those returns. That's what I'm all about, sharing techniques and tips for you guys to spend less, earn more, and maximize returns. Mike Rosehart, out. Cheers.